Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Shalina and I post all content fashion. I previously worked in fashion buying, so if fashion is your thing, then please do stick around. I would love to have you here. Let's jump straight into today's video. Okay, so I've come to that time where it's another big milestone birthday. I am living the last few days of my 30s and I will be 40 in a couple of days. So in today's video, I wanted to talk you through fashion lessons I learnt in my 30s. I definitely changed a lot from my 20s to my 30s, and I think going into my 40s, my late 30s definitely changed me even more when it comes to fashion. I still love clothes, but I definitely have slowed down a lot. And with lifestyle changes, a lot happened in my 30s. I got married, I had 2 children. My lifestyle changed a lot. I work from home now. My wardrobe changed as those things changed in my life too. But anyway, let's go through each one and I will elaborate a bit more as we go through. Okay, so the biggest thing I've definitely learned in my 30s is be realistic with your lifestyle. I think this is a really important one. We've probably all got clothes in our wardrobe that we no longer wear because it no longer suits our lifestyle. And as I mentioned before, I went through a lot of life changes. In my 30s, I got married, I had 2 children. I stopped working my office job and I now work from home. So I think the outfits I used to wear to my office job, which was a fashion-based office, they're just maybe not things I would necessarily wear to do the school run and around the house. I definitely prefer to be comfortable. I prefer not to wear jeans working from home or more tailored trousers working from home. If I'm honest, I definitely love to wear loungewear. It's easy to put on in the morning when I'm in a rush and I need to get the kids out the door. So thinking about what your lifestyle actually entails is, I think, a way to get to having a wardrobe that actually works for you. Don't get me wrong, I get tempted by really nice dresses or really nice shoes, but it's like, where am I actually going to wear those things? I don't go to places where it's more of a formal setting. I don't go to really fancy restaurants. I'm quite a cheap date, I'm not gonna lie. My husband probably loves that about me, but I don't have a need for really fancy outfits, nor do I have a need for heels anymore. Being realistic, I don't like wearing heels, they hurt my feet. I can't be bothered with it if I'm being completely honest. I just prefer to be comfortable. If I am going out and I need to be a bit more dressed up, I'll definitely just opt for a kitten heel. If I'm going to a wedding or something like that, then I will as well. And I think part of lifestyle changes also came from COVID, which was a massive thing. A lot of people ended up either working remotely or doing hybrid working. So if that's something you do, then really have a think about how many formal outfits do you actually need in your wardrobe? Could you pare down your wardrobe? Do you need to keep buying new things, or should you maybe invest in things that you would prefer to wear around the house? But if you still need to jump on a video call, you'll still look somewhat put together rather than just, you know, in your pajamas or in your underwear or whatever you might wear at home. I also find things that I don't really need is like sort of party wear. I used to go out a lot in my 20s. You know, they used to always be after work drinks and things like that. That's definitely not part of my lifestyle anymore. I'm not gonna lie, I prefer to put my pajamas on after work and just be cozy and comfy at home. Probably part of getting older, but I'm okay with that, that's fine. So I think a big thing is definitely having a think about your lifestyle. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis and what do you need to be comfortable but also functional, but also play the part that you need to within the day? For example, if you do go into the office, if you are giving a presentation, if you work in a factory, what do you need to wear to make sure that you're equipped for those days? And then when I talk about lifestyle, I also think where you live, what kind of transport you're using in your day-to-day life, and what your weather especially is like, so what your climate's like. That is always going to dictate what you have in your wardrobe. For example, I live in London. The climate is definitely usually cold or wet, and not like today, it's really, really sunny. So I prefer to invest more in my winter wardrobe, my autumn winter wardrobe, or cold weather wardrobe if you like, and I pare it back when it comes to summer. I don't have loads and loads of summer clothes. I have really good basic pieces like what I'm wearing today, which is just, if I can stand back without hitting the cupboard, it's just this linen co-ord set These are items that I think I'm just gonna always like. They're not particularly trend driven. It's linen, so it's really good for the summertime. I've had this for a few years now. I know I'll have it for more years to come. So I definitely don't buy as much in the summer. It just feels like a waste of money to me. I mean, yes, I would love to buy loads of different things for summer, but it just is pointless. We get a couple of weeks of sun if we're lucky, and that's it. Hot weather rather. Investing in my winter wardrobe is something that I feel is a good way to spend my money. So have a think about your climate. You live in quite a rainy area. Boots could probably be a better idea for you, and you can build outfits from there. I do sometimes find building bottom up is easier when I get ready. A lot of the time if it's raining here, I always have to think about what shoes I'm gonna wear, so I try to avoid any of my shoes that have suede on them, or I just make sure I've protected them well before I wear them. But then I will opt for boots, and then I plan my outfit from there. So it might be worth taking some time to write down, I know it sounds really stupid, but write down your climate, write down what you're doing on a daily basis, write down what you feel you wear loads already, and you might start to establish a pattern of the kind of things that would work for you. And I think this would definitely help you to buy better going forward and help you to build outfits even easier. And the next thing is buying good basics. I think sometimes we underestimate how much we need good basics in our wardrobe. I feel like they are the pieces that kind of pull an outfit together. And also, if you are at a loss of what to wear some days, I know that I sometimes wake up feeling like nothing looks good on me. So if you do have those days, I think basics are where it's at. And I think also for me, over my 30s, I've built a wardrobe that has a lot more basics in them, and I find it a lot easier to get ready in the morning. That's not to say I don't like more out there pieces or more unique pieces, but I think generally for day-to-day life where everyone's so busy and you know we're rushing to get out of the door in the morning, basics can just help you to pull an outfit together. I mean, it's even as simple as just getting some jeans out and getting a really good quality t-shirt and sticking that on with a jacket, and it's like you're good to go. So I would say where you can and where your budget allows, do invest in good quality basics that will last a while. My only caveat to that is with basics that are white. I even have bought, you know, I bought $5.99 t-shirts, and then I bought $29.99 t-shirts, and what happens to them is they all end up getting slightly discolored every time you're putting them on and taking them off. So that's one thing you might want to have a little think about, how much you actually want to invest in white coloured basics. But I think the key with basics is just to make sure the fabric is a really good quality, and you are also looking at the fit on you. You want the fit to be perfect, that way you're going to wear it over and over and over again. And the next thing is finding colours that suit your skin tone. I think I've definitely made mistakes in the past where I've worn something and then I've looked back at a picture maybe and I've been like, why does this look so odd on me? And it's because the colour isn't quite right for my skin tone. We all have an undertone to us. I think mine is definitely more warm. The cooler colours don't look as good on my skin tone. As you can see, this oatmeal shirt still has a warm undertone, so it suits me better. There are a lot of colour theory or colour analysis exercises you can take online. I will try and find a few and link it in the description box. But if you are interested in learning more about what colours suit you, there are also lots of YouTube channels that can help you dig into this a little bit more. And again, it's going to help you to buy pieces that you are going to use in the long term because they're going to look great on your skin tone. I personally tend to stay away from brown colours because I feel like they don't flatter my skin tone as much. But then when I wear things like whites or even blacks, I feel like they look even better on me. Also, if you find that you don't really have the time to figure out what colours work for you, keep it neutral. I think neutrals tend to work best on a lot of people. Maybe hold different colour neutrals up to your face. I think you'll get a sort of idea of which ones will look better against your skin tone, and then you can just take it from there. Neutrals make it so easy to pull outfits together. As much as sometimes people say, oh, neutrals are so boring, I do find that for everyday life where you maybe don't have enough time to think about your outfit so much, neutrals can be such a great way of pulling outfits together. Okay, so the next thing is making sure you can style new items in your wardrobe at least 5 ways. That's my rule anyway. I want to be able to style something at least 5 different ways or I'm not keeping it. I have made that rule for myself more from my mid to late 30s because one, I don't have the storage space, I don't have the money to keep buying loads of new things, and I don't want to keep buying new things. So I think if you are able to style things various ways, you'll just find you get so much more use out of your wardrobe. It won't be that piece that's just sitting there because you don't know how to style it. So make that a priority if you are buying something new, to style something at least 5 times, and then you will know you'll get the wear out of it. So the next one is buy underwear at least 2 sizes up, maybe 1 or 2 sizes up from what you actually are. The amount of times I've bought underwear and it's too tight in my actual size, I've definitely learned that lesson I go at least 2 sizes up generally. So where I am a UK size 10, I will 100% go for a 12, if not even a 14. I don't like underwear to dig into me. I do find a lot of retailers will vary in size, and this is due to the kind of fit models they use in the buying office. So what happens is a fit model will come in, they will try on the garments, and then they will give their comments to a technologist on areas they think might need to be adjusted to make the fit better. But what we need to account for is the fact that a size 12 may have a flat bum and a flat tummy, but then another size 12 might have a more curvy bum and curvy hips. So all retailers will use different fit models depending on the kind of retailer they are. For example, Zara will probably use fit models that are more straight up and down, whereas somewhere like Marks and Spencer's, for example, will use models that have a little bit more meat on the body. So even though those 2 fit models may be the same size, the body shape is going to be so different. So I think that's when you find that even though you go to different retailers and put on the same size, they'll always fit quite differently. So don't focus on size, just focus on what fits well. And the next thing is tracking what you are spending every month. Now this is something I probably should have done a lot of years back, but if you write down everything you buy in terms of fashion and beauty, for example, in a month, you might be shocked to see how much you're actually spending. I am definitely building in no spend months because I think I need a all or nothing kind of approach. It's just my personality. But if I tell myself I'm not allowed to buy anything this month, then that's the way it's going to be. So I'm definitely on a more no spend at the moment. Again, it's summer here. I don't really want to buy new summer clothes. I don't really need them. I think I've only bought 1 or 2 things this summer. And I think it's important to think about if there's other things you'd rather use the money or put the money towards. Can you build up a rainy day fund? Make sure you've got some money there to fall back on if you ever need to. Is there an experience you might want to do instead, or a holiday you might want to take? There are just so many other things you might want to do with the money once you realize how much you're actually spending on clothes and beauty. And don't get me wrong, I love clothes. To me, it's like art, and I love seeing how people pull together outfits. But I think it's just important to be mindful about how much you're spending and whether these items are actually adding to your wardrobe in a positive way. The next thing is buying secondhand. I think a lot of these secondhand websites have just become so popular. I use Vinted. I can't say my experiences have always been great. You will get some of those times where you buy something and actually it doesn't work out very well. I've bought things that come reeking of perfume or the person who wore it, and the smell just won't come out. So I have lost money on those things. I don't want to necessarily sell that on to someone. If I do, I am clear in the description to say it does smell of perfume, even though I've tried to get it out. So I am clear to say in my listings that the item does smell of perfume. I think people should definitely be more honest about those things. It's just absolutely frustrating when you get something and it just reeks of someone else's perfume, but what can you do? So I think it's really good to look at secondhand, especially when you want something new. Always check secondhand to see if you can buy it on a secondhand website. I always do that actually with certain things that might be more costly. For example, I really like shopping at All Saints, but their prices are quite dear. So I do always go and check on Vinted to see if I could get it there for a lot less. You could go into store and try it on first to make sure it fits, see what size you need, see if you really actually do like it, and then make your purchase on a secondhand website. When buying secondhand, I would also just make sure that you are checking profiles. There's so many random fake profiles out there that are selling things that probably are too good to be true. Just be mindful you don't get caught out by those accounts. I usually stick to people who have a 5-star review, because you know you're probably not going to get too many problems with them, or that have quite a few bits in their wardrobe, because then you know they're more legit. I think the ones that are dodgy accounts are ones that are maybe selling, for example, a designer handbag. They've only got one thing in their wardrobe and they have a really weird username, like just loads of random letters and numbers. So just be mindful. But it can be, I have gotten things on there where I'm super pleased with them. So it is a bit hit and miss, but I think it's a good thing to explore if you can. Okay, so the next thing is remaining debt-free. I'm only going to talk about this in terms of fashion and beauty, but this could apply to anything in your life. I had it drummed into me from a young age by my mother. Never get in debt, never get credit cards, don't buy things you can't afford, and it definitely stuck with me. I have never been in debt, I've never gone into my overdraft. I do try and live within my means. I think it's so easy to get carried away with spending, particularly with social media, watching other people and how they live and how they just spend so freely. But the fact is, we don't know what their financial positions are, and the only thing you need to care about is your financial position, whether you have any money to fall back on if you know, suddenly find yourself needing cash. So I think for me, that's a really important thing. I definitely have months where I'm really spendy and I'm buying quite a few bits and pieces, but the fact is, I don't need any more items of clothing. Like, I have enough. So when I'm feeling spendy, I tend to watch videos on minimalism and I watch videos on slow fashion. I do follow quite a few slow fashion influencers who I really love. I think sometimes, especially trying to do YouTube and trying to show you guys different outfits and things, I definitely start to feel like, oh, you're gonna get bored of seeing like the same things. But I want to stay true to who I am, and I don't want to buy things just to show you. I want to show you things that I'm actually buying and wearing. So that's definitely something I want to focus on going forward. I'm by no means slow fashion as much as a lot of these slow fashion influencers, but I'm definitely slower, I guess, than I was before. You don't have to watch videos that are like full on minimalism where they don't have anything in their house, but to help you realign and to reassess and to calm down a bit when it comes to spending. It's just so easy to spend these days. Stop watching people who make you want to spend and just start taking in content that maybe helps you to slow down, or just take a break from social media altogether. Like, that is probably the best thing you could do. Enjoy your life as it stands rather than living it through the eyes of someone else. So rather than living through someone else's life, just, you know, appreciate what you have and make the most of what you have. So the next thing is trends, and I think this one can be a little tricky because there are some trends that come out that I like and that I do buy into. So I'm not going to say avoid trends, I'm saying avoid trends that don't fit your lifestyle. You don't need to jump on every single trend that is out there. I think this is the thing about fashion. We should all just be quite individual, but there are trends that I do jump on the back of, and one of them is active leggings with the socks over the top and the New Balance, because for me, that is comfort all the way. The socks keep me warm. I love my New Balance trainers. I've got 3 pairs and they're all so comfortable. So for me, not only do they look stylish, but they are doing the job of keeping me comfortable. I think it's just being mindful of what trends you're buying into and why you're buying into them. Another one is leopard print. I've always loved leopard print, but never quite found the right piece. So I hadn't bought anything up until now, where I found a pair of plissé leopard print trousers from Topshop. So I got them and they were quite long, so I gave them a little snip at the bottom. Plissé cuts so well and really easily. You don't need to stitch them at the bottom, you can just cut them to your size. And they're super comfortable. They've got an elasticated waist. As you can see, I love elasticated waists. I hope I'm demonstrating that once I can say avoid trends, just avoid the ones that don't fit your lifestyle. There's the trend of the blouse with the tie at the front, and while I feel like that is something that I'd quite like to wear, I don't know if I'm gonna particularly love it in 3 years time, so I'm choosing to avoid that one altogether and just stick to more classic pieces like this one. I also find with trends you can come across a lot of YouTube videos which are do's and don'ts of what to buy when it comes to trends and what you should wear and what you should throw out and what's not fashionable anymore. And I just want to say to those that that's absolutely fine. I think each their own. If you like something and you feel good in it, I don't see why you would want to throw that out because some random person is telling you that it's not on trend anymore. I think that's what fashion is all about. It's self-expression, and if you really like something, then just wear it. It really doesn't matter. No one's gonna like look at you and judge you, and even if they do, like, who cares? Just be yourself and be comfortable and be happy with what you're wearing. I think that's the main message I'm trying to get across here. Fashion is just like an art form, so if you feel good in it, then that is the main thing, and that's all that should matter to you. Okay, the next thing is play dress up with your wardrobe. I would say try and do this maybe every couple of years. Pull out things, try them on, see what they go with, how many ways can you style them. If you do a challenge like my 14 items and figure out how many outfits you can get out of it, they're really good ways of like pulling loads of new outfits together. And I think the great thing to do when you're doing this is take photos of the outfits you've pulled together. Will just make getting ready in the morning so much easier. It will also help you to identify those pieces that you don't wear anymore, so you might want to consider selling them or donating them. And then I think it's always great to make a list of the items that you sold or donated, as that will really help you to see the things that you might still be buying that you don't actually wear that much. I think that comes back to lifestyle, or our fantasy lifestyles. So the way we sort of picture ourselves to dress versus the way we do actually need or want to dress in our reality. So this leads us on to the next point, which is having a rule for your wardrobe. So I think I'm definitely trying to adopt the 1 year rule. If I haven't worn it over the past year, then I'm going to get rid of it. I have also tried to sell things on Vinted. I'm giving myself a rule for that also. If I haven't sold it within 4 months, for example, then I'm going to donate it if it's in good enough condition, which most things I'm trying to sell would be anyway. Someone else can make use of it. I think, you know, we've got that thing in our mind that we spent money on it, so we want to hang on to it. But really, what are you hanging on to it for? It's just cluttering up your life, and I think having lots of clutter around you just clutters your brain. It makes you feel overwhelmed. So I think wherever you can get rid of things, then make an effort to do so. And as I mentioned before, I think it's really good to take note of the things that you get rid of. It will help you to see a pattern in things that you might be buying that you don't necessarily wear. For me, that is probably blazers. I love a black blazer, and I think I definitely get use out of a black blazer. I recently bought a linen cream one, but that is probably all that I really need. I don't naturally draw for blazers because my style is more casual. So I really started to identify, actually, I bought 2 other blazers which I don't get wear out of. So it's establishing patterns like this that will help you to buy better going forward. So definitely make a list of anything that you are donating or giving away to family, and then you'll start to see the patterns emerge. The next one is sale items, another tricky area because it's so easy to feel tempted by the sale, especially when, you know, it's a retailer that you love to shop at. But again, using the love list, so when you heart things that you like and it goes into a list, if they are things that you've already got on your list, this is how I do sale shopping. So if it's something that is already on my wish list on a particular website, for example, then I might buy it. But I think if you weren't going to pay full price for something, you probably don't fully really want it anyway. So just be mindful with sale items. It can be so tempting, but I have found, and this is another pattern I realised, that most things I buy on sale, I don't actually end up loving that much or wearing that much. So that's another way you can sort of be mindful about the things that you're buying. Would you have bought it full price? If you wouldn't, then you probably didn't want it in the first place. And then the next thing is keeping a wish list. This also really helped me to be more focused on the things I actually do need rather than the things I want. So just as you have on websites where you're able to heart the things that you love, this is your own wish list of things that you have started to establish are missing from your wardrobe. For example, it could be that you live in a really rainy environment, but you've only got a heavy wintry coat that protects you from the rain, and you actually need something a bit lighter for when the weather isn't so cold but it's still raining. That was a long example, but you get where I'm going with it. So I think it's things that you start to realize is missing in your wardrobe. Keep them on a wish list, and then I think always refer to your wish list before you're buying new things. It will help you to identify if you really do need something or not. and reevaluate the wish list. You might find that actually you've put something on there but you don't actually really need it and you might want to take it off. But I do think wish lists can help you to stay more focused on what you actually do need and what's missing from your wardrobe. And the next thing I think we could all stand to remember is that social media is fake. So don't compare yourself to people online. I know that's really easy for me to say. I do it myself, but I think it's really important that you remember that we've all walked different paths. We've all dealt with different things in our lives. We're all just trying to do the best we can. And it is really easy to compare yourself to people online, but remember that a lot of it is free gifts they've been given, or shoots that have been set up in a certain lighting. They spend all day trying to get one amazing picture. Most people don't travel around on private jets and have like 7,000 designer handbags. It's just not reality. It might be some people's reality, but for most people it just isn't. So don't compare yourself to others online. If you do find yourself feeling a way about the content you're consuming, then definitely look for, there are so many other channels on YouTube that you can watch that are probably more aligned to your lifestyle, to your style. So have a look for those and unsubscribe to anything that doesn't make you feel great. And one I didn't want to forget to tell you is costume jewelry. Now this is something I've really started to do in probably more my late 30s, but I have made a conscious effort not to buy as much costume jewelry. I do still buy earrings that are costume jewelry, only because for some reason I lose earrings quite often. The little stud ones, which I usually wear in my last 2 piercings from my ear. I've got 3 in this one and 4 in this one. So only because I lose them, I do tend to buy costume jewelry for my earrings. But other than that, I'm trying to stick to saving more money and getting gold vermeil or solid gold if I can. I know that's quite expensive. So gold vermeil is my sort of comfort point. I've bought some pieces from Monica Vinader that have held up really well. I think a lot of it is how you take care of it. I don't spray perfume on any of my jewelry. I don't wear any of it in the shower. I did get this necklace and another similar one in Ibiza, which I guess are a little bit costume. I don't actually know if these little scrolls on them are gold plated or not. I don't know if you can see that. Are gold plated or not, but I just couldn't resist. It was such a lovely shop in Ibiza. So there are some things that I will still buy. I do like a bit of a sort of colourful rope situation going on. I'd say if it is something you can invest more money into, rather than buying like 10 different costume jewelries, maybe putting that money together, saving up a little bit more and buying something that's going to last a bit longer. I think that's definitely something I want to carry on doing. And the final one, because I have rambled on for long enough now, is cutting down on the products you use. So I probably definitely used more products and more higher end products when I was in my 20s. I had more disposable income then because I now have 2 children I need to pay for. So I definitely had money to use on things like that and was still able to save money. But you know what I found? Cheaper things do the same thing. I use a lot less now. I literally have a face wash. I do use niacinamide, I think that's how you say it, the ordinary one, because that is just great for my skin. I think it's like £5 a bottle, so it's really inexpensive. I use a drugstore face wash. I put sunscreen on and then I just use Nivea on my face and that is me done, and then I'll just put my makeup on. So I have pared back on the products that I use. I think it's really important to remember that a lot of it is just clever marketing, lovely packaging, buzzwords, thinking about things like anti-aging, reduction in cellulite, or targeting wrinkles and things like that, when actually a lot of this stuff could probably just be done through a good diet. If you're eating well, then that is just going to come from the inside out. So I think that's something to remember. A lot of these claim they can do things. So yeah, if you want to save a few pennies, then maybe do more research into the actual ingredients that you need to target what your specific issue might be. So if you have acne, for example, I don't get acne, but when I get spots, I get really big ones. I've got one on my face now, you can probably see it. So look for things that target that. I know for me, I have a very oily T-zone, so aloe vera products work really well to control the oil. So it's about looking for the ingredients that actually are going to help your skin, rather than something that's just got really fancy packaging. I think we can all get caught up in marketing. That's what it's there for. It's really clever. It's there to manipulate us, but try and keep a level head. That's not to say expensive products don't work, but you don't necessarily need to spend hundreds of pounds pounds on creams and potions to make yourself look great. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope I managed to give you some wisdom. Maybe you already know all this stuff anyway. I just thought I'd share anyway, and if you enjoyed this video, I hope you do subscribe. I'm gonna go and eat some cake soon because, you know, I'm going to be 40, I deserve it. Look after yourselves, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.